Well, hello again, everyone. It's lovely to be outside, relaxing in our lovely patio area here. We're really lucky to be joined today by Tim Cripps, so Tim of Trustco, MD of Trustco, one of our partners for our partner session on AI today. Lovely to see you. Thanks so much for coming and joining us. Do you want to give us a little bit of background on Trustco?
Yeah, of course. So Trustco PLC, we're a 25-year-old IT solutions company based in Brighton on the seafront. Our main line of work is data center or data. We chase the data for our customers. We got into business primarily as a box shifter years ago, and that's just progressed as the IT market's changed, so has the business. So ultimately, what we look to achieve is to become a technical associate for our customers and help them chase their data, work out what the data's doing, and make sure that they're getting the best resources possible for their IT and their infrastructure.
And you've been a long-standing partner of HPE as well, haven't you?
Yeah. We came across the HPE. Well, we were always kind of a base partner over the years, but we really started to get to grips with HPE with the Nimble acquisition. So as a business moving out of a box shifting kind of criteria, we started working with Nimble because data storage was a really big key back in 2010. And what we wanted to achieve, rather than just putting lots and lots of disks and lots of kit in racks, is to actually find a product that took block storage and turned it on its head, and that was Nimble. HPE saw the benefits of Nimble and purchased the company, and we came across with it.
And obviously at Nimble, you've got InfoSight as well, so there's AI built
data
in.
Analytics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely changed the way the market thinks, and actually the way us as a company started to think, right, okay, well look, it's not just about racks and racks of kit. Let's look at how the data's stored. Let's look what they're doing with the data, and making sure that as a business we are being able to tell our customers or help our customers kind of get to the best outcome.
And so we're fortunate, right? So we've been on this AI journey together.
Yes.
Part of our Accelerate program as well within TD SYNNEX. Been attending some of our community events. We've talked about an AI community that we're developing as well. So, what's your experience been of kind of entering into looking at AI as a new area for your customers? I know we've talked about it being included within storage, but as a specific focus area for the business.
Yeah, so working with TD SYNNEX has been really, really good for us. It's been key to us advancing into the AI market. We are, we're very aware that AI is a big buzzword. There's lots of people talking about it, but we don't like buzzwords at Trustco. We want to be able to be knowledgeable to our customers and say, look, if you're going on this journey, we want to help. But we can only help you when we're backed by, a larger entity. TD SYNNEX and your team has really helped us to kind of broach the gap between how do we go from standard virtualization, storage, backup, DR to this extra unit, which is the AI, without just using buzzwords and just selling equipment for no reason. We want to make sure that, if the customer is going on that journey, we've got the ability to bring in the big guns, HPE, NVIDIA, you guys. It's the only way. As my business is moving forward, we want to make sure that we've got the ability to put practical scenarios in place for our customers using best of breed.
And I know we've talked about sustainability recently, and it being something which I know it's buzzword, but also very, very, very relevant. And obviously with AI, there is a lean to how do we make that sustainable. You've had vast experience in this space.
Yeah, definitely. I think we need to start thinking about AI beyond just the power and cooling that it takes to train models. We need to think about engineering life cycles, repeatability. There's a whole bunch of factors that are associated with how we build models in a sustainable way. If you think about, we need a strategy. Some key aspects are that a lot of time it's a case of taking a step back. What do you want to use this technology for? having a strategy, because you might want to deploy one AI or many AIs. And if you have that strategy, you can start to execute against the repeatability aspects of it. The fact that you need multiple technology-based disciplines to come together to make it deployable in a sustainable way. You need the data science, but you also need developers who are going to build around the models that you're constructing, and the two are different. So how can you start to leverage Team AI, which is a collection of partners coming together to tackle some really big and complicated AI challenges?
Yeah. On that, of just mentioning the Team AI, part of the approach we've had is obviously these exec roundtables and partnering and meeting other partners who are on different stages of the journey. I'm just interested in your insight and whether that's useful in terms of getting a view of who you may be able to work with, what the competition might be doing even.
Yeah, so sustainable data transformation, which is a kind of what I came up with a few months ago around working with the NHS and trying to bridge the gap between, you've had the infrastructure teams within the NHS or within any organisation. Then you have the departments within. It's how do you bridge the gap between, the data scientists and the IT infrastructure guys, because the infrastructure guys, when they're asking for resource and the technical abilities to run AI models, sometimes don't necessarily understand what's involved in that. You can't run this on a virtualization system. You'd have to use your own bare metal to do it. Now, what you don't want to be doing is throwing lots and lots of more kit at problems, because the sustainability conversation goes out the window. But what you want to look to achieve is how you build those platforms and how you power and cool those, and almost making sure that they're right size for the job and not overcooking it. The problems that we've seen in the sustainability conversation is where companies have gone down the virtualization route, and they've just they've opened for provisions using cloud physics, which is one of HPE's products that they bought a couple of years ago. You can actually start to show customers how to right size this equipment. There's such a big piece of this conversation is where do you go with it? There's so many different levels within infrastructure and IT. Sustainability is such a massive topic. It's where do you start and where do you end up? And working with HPE and the guys at TD SYNNEX is something else that we can help that sustainability conversation, which is massive, and another buzzword, of course, actually put it on paper and show the effectiveness of being able to analyse, where you're at, where you need to be, where does this belong, where does that belong, apps and data, of course, and really, bringing it down so we're targeted in what we're doing.
And also top to bottom stacks as well. Just need to start thinking about it right the way through the infrastructure space, from highly optimized GPUs, highly optimized libraries that you'll get from NVIDIA, around accelerating those workloads, proper engineering discipline built on top of it. So it is about taking a view about how you're going to construct the models, and as well as sort of tackling the high level AI problems, thinking about the infrastructure implications, because AI is one of the few workloads that has a very strong coupling into the infrastructure. And GPU acceleration, by reducing the amount of time it takes you to construct the models, it means you're using less power, requires less cooling, and as a result of that, you're going to produce less carbon. So ultimately, it's a great sustainability story when you bring in a highly optimized top to bottom stack.
And does that open up new conversations for you with your customers?
Yeah, well, this leads into a lot of the projects that Trustco has been doing recently are containerized data centers. So, NHSs or Edu or whoever, the MOD, have kind of got to the end of the life with some of their data centers, and their IT guys have been tasked with, right, we need to either move this into a bigger building, or we need to demolish the building it's in and we need to move it. And at that time, being able to look about how you bring down the cooling, the power, you suddenly be able to build a container data center, put it in your car park, and it's using a quarter of the power and cooling that you would on your old infrastructure, because that infrastructure has grown over time. They've just bolted more and more AC into it, and the power and cooling factors are have not changed over the years. You know, now we've got the ability to run less power, less cooling, and a smaller footprint for equipment. You know, 20 racks 5 years ago is now a rack of kit. So being able to assess, you know, what the compute needs, you know, what the storage needs, what their applications need to run, we're able now to say, right, instead of, you know, on the back of a fag packet, go, right, you're going to need 10 stacks of this, that, and the other. You can actually put it together and go, right, these are the facts, these are the numbers, and sustainability is the driver that we've come to those over.
And with the obviously the engagement that we've had around AI specifically, and in partnership with NVIDIA as well, has that opened up more new customer conversations for you?
Well, the great thing about NVIDIA is, you know, we used to do lots and lots of VDI, right? So, you know, the NVIDIA cards were fit for purpose. They were R&D'd. You know, HPE were one of the only companies that were taking the larger VD, you know, the GPU cards. And, you know, if I think back to, you know, when we were working with well, VDI technologies, I won't name which ones they were, but, you know, you could have a card. It was all about the GPUs, and NVIDIA were always the go-to. And, you know, I used to do quite a lot of PC gaming as well, so NVIDIA is always, it's the brand, isn't it? But they've also got the technology that really, really does the job.
And the partnerships, great. You know, I know that we've been working together for a while now, and the access across, you know, the ecosystem in terms of collaboration between HPE, NVIDIA and partners, and with the starter kits, we've spoken about the starter kits in other segments that we've recorded.
Yep.
But obviously we've got those for partners to benefit from if you're looking to, I guess, reduce that complexity in taking initial investment into AI, and your customers can benefit from that as well.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing about the starter kits, they're great because if the IT team, you know, the guys that are keeping the lights on, the guys that are, you know, running the core of the business, are suddenly asked by the business, look guys, you've got to go AI. They're coming to us and saying, you know, how are we going to do this? So having the ability to go, right, you know, HPE, NVIDIA, these are the starter kits. We're you know, let's run a workshop. Let's have a look at exactly what you're looking to achieve, and then from there we can kind of, you know, almost give you a sizing for the kit that you need to put in the rack, and then from there we can help you manage it. We can help you with you know, the open source modeling, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's really good. The other good thing as well that, you know, the customers are starting to latch onto, this is kind of a new landscape for a lot of customers. So being able to have the Green Lake and the, you know, the pay as you go, yeah, the consumption conversation, suddenly it's the ability, you know, it's more about not the consumption but how you manage it. You know, this is going to be a new part of your infrastructure that you haven't had before. They show you how you can, from day one, you can just make it a pay as you go model, and you can manage it like a cloud.
Yeah, the true flexible kind of capacity consumption model is a real unique, particularly in this space with HPE Green Lake. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and I think trying to, you know, if you're saying to the business, look, you know, this is going to cost you X amount of thousands to do this, buying a lump of kit. If you can show them that you can, you know, you can pay as you go on it, I think it's a better conversation for. Well, it changes it away from capex into more of an opex model, doesn't it? So there's a lot of benefits.
It gives a lot more flexibility depending on what they actually want to do as an organisation. Yeah. So have you got any advice to partners or to other partners or to customers if they're just starting out or looking for help and advice and support around their AI journey?
I think you've got to stay off Google, try and speak to someone that, you know, who will speak to your IT supplier, if not speak to them, speak to us. Trustco PLC.
Good advice.
Yeah,
I take that advice every day. Look, genuinely, thank you ever so much. Thank you for taking the time to come and join us. Lovely to be working with you. And yeah, hopefully we'll be back on the couch again soon.
Yeah, great. Thank you.